Welcome to the first episode, Alyssa. Is chaos and contracts?
Contracts and
chaos. Yeah. Turns out we aren't the tech squad.
No, we are not the tech squad,
We
but
are
we
your
have
real estate squad, but not your tech squad.
right. Also, in our defense, we were figuring this out without instructions.
Yeah, no, we were using, yeah, Google.
So exactly, Google and no written instructions. Just hey, this is what you need, but no one's going to tell you exactly how to make it
But
work.
honest to God, that's how we have done our business. So it's perfect.
That's true. I feel like that's why we're real estate besties.
Yeah.
Like we've just been winging it and being like, "Yo, did that work for you? No, not this time." Okay, so today's episode, obviously, this is Contracts and Chaos. We're Brenna and Alyssa. We are realtors in the greater Charlotte area. We are both, 3 years in now? And we wanted to start this podcast to talk to other realtors about what it is like.
Yeah, what it's like.
What it's like.
Yeah, we got into real estate just as 2020 hit, right? I was licensed the beginning of August in 2019. So then all of that.
Right. And I started the licensing process. I enrolled in school December of 2019. Class didn't start until February of 2020. And then I can tell you the exact date it got canceled was Friday, March 13th of 2020. My entire
I think that's the day that my kids got sent home from school.
Yeah, that was my last day in corporate America, which we can tell this story someday too. It's very interesting. The restaurant I was hostessing at decided to close that night. And I got an email from real estate school that they were closing until further notice and they'd let us know. So I was supposed to be licensed by April of 2020. And because of all of the delays of COVID and everything, I got my license the end of September, but couldn't, or no, yes. And my license the end of September because I had some family commitments in October, didn't hit the ground running till November 1st of 2020. So
It's one of those things I tell people that I'm actually I think it worked out really well for me that I got licensed when I did because everybody had to relearn real estate at that time because everything was so different. The market was so unpredictable and huge, and everybody was buying a house and the interest rates dropped, and everybody was relearning how to do things. So those people that had a consistent, I do the same thing every year for the last 15 years, they were having to go back to the drawing board too. So I mean, I started as a newbie, but I learned right alongside everybody who'd been doing it for years because it was completely different.
okay, so for today, we are going to talk about, we're going to do a rapid fire of questions back and forth so you guys can get to know us, know who we are, how we function. Yeah, and then you can decide if you want to listen to the next episode, I guess. Okay, so we kind of covered the first one, like how long have you been an agent?
Yeah.
So we're both entering our 4th year.
Yeah. I had my first closing 37 days after I got my license, and then I didn't. It was an Op City lead, and we'll talk about that too. I'm sure a lot of you know about Op City. It was quite a scenario. But then after that, it was 4 more months before I got another one. So I was and then from there, it's gotten more consistent every year. Yeah.
Well, I remember when we first met, your goal was it maybe for 2021 or 2022 was one closing per month. Yeah, which has been my goal this year, and I need as long as my 2 listings close by the end of the year, I need one more.
That's awesome. Same thing when I set my goals this year, transaction wise, it was based off my transaction volume. You know what I mean? Like my average sale
right
for last year. But currently we're on track with that, but a lot less transactions than I actually planned for because my volume.
Right. Your price point has
gone up. Yep.
Yeah.
What do you love about real estate? What's your favorite thing about real estate? When you wake up in the morning?
That's actually my favorite thing about real estate.
When you wake up in the morning? What's that like?
So I'm not a morning person. I'm also not a night person. I'm a sleep a lot person.
I think you just vibed with so many people.
I will never be that agent on the 5 a.m. call. Not gonna happen. I don't set an alarm. I know it's very controversial because so many agents you have to be up at this time. You have to start calling at this time. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, what time's the sun gonna rise tomorrow? I'll probably wake up about 10 minutes after that.
Right. I love
Or
meeting people. I think that's my favorite thing about real estate, like the different dynamics. And I was, I was a waitress and a bartender. Like it's the same job, but it's different every time.
yes,
And I just get
exactly.
so bored so
Yes,
easily,
yeah.
So I'm not like a very good office person as far as like I go in and I say hello to the person and it's just very mundane. I get bored. So I love that it's different. But to speak to your point, as far as for like the kids and the husband and like the flexibility and you know that flexibility of making your own schedule doesn't necessarily mean that you're making your own schedule because
Right, like
we do work around other people's schedule always.
always.
But being able to say, no, I can't show that house at 7:30 tonight because families for me it's a huge
Yeah,
I'm one of 11 children, so
which blows my mind every time you say that.
family is a huge part of me growing up. It's a huge part of how I run my business. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so yeah, that's big families.
yeah, big families. Well, I'm not from a big family. So we had the nuclear family that ended up in divorce. So it was my mom, my sister, and I for a very long time. I'm not saying my dad wasn't around. My dad was around, but every day in and out, just the three of us.
Mhm.
And so, what's your favorite Disney movie? I feel like that tells a lot about a person, though.
Yeah, yeah. So The Little Mermaid has always been my absolute favorite, and then The Lion King is a close second.
Okay. So yeah, Little Mermaid's definitely my favorite. I don't know. Lilo and Stitch maybe is my
Oh,
second.
I love that
I
movie.
feel like as a kid it was a Pocahontas, but like Lilo and Stitch didn't exist then.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so here's I don't know if we want to do this one next.
Which one?
One word to describe yourself or the other person.
Oh, okay. How do you want to do a word to describe me or to describe yourself? Because I'm very bad at describing myself.
I
This is
hate describing myself because I feel like I do not see myself the way other people do. Like I have these clients I just closed with, and they are so positive and reinforcing, and like we're like, oh my, like they literally sent me a text that said, "I was just talking to my daughter about you, and I want you to know that we really think your parents should be proud of you." And I was just like, wow, okay. And then they sent me something yesterday, like you are awesome, and your positivity put out there is going to bring you success. And I was like, okay. But my mental brain was like, oh my God, the yard card was 2 days late because I was traveling. So I'm going to describe you because I feel like I'm bad at describing myself.
okay.
And it's going to take more than one word.
Oh, okay. I'm more than a woman.
You are so much more than a one word. You are the most positive, motivating person I've ever met in my life. Like, don't cry. Oh my God, she really is tearing up. I can see her closely. Um, you are the person, you and Heather, but you will text me randomly. Okay, Alyssa, what are the goals for this week? And I don't know how you do this, but you always do it on a day where I am not feeling it, where I'm like, I need to go find a full-time job. I'm awful at this. Like, because if you're a new agent here, the thing you will did my mic just die? No, okay. Okay, it's putting out. It sounded weird. The thing you will learn in real estate is it's a lot of this.
Mhm.
And it's like you're riding that high. And actually, I was watching. I have to tell you about something. Have you seen that Kendra from the Playboy Mansion is a realtor in LA now?
No.
And she has a TV show about it. I've stumbled on this on TikTok, and but she explained it, or her BIC or team lead explained it. Like it's always like this. Even if you're super successful, emotionally, financially, it's not gonna level out because we are commission based.
Mhm.
And so like every time I feel like I'm suddenly hitting that low emotionally or for motivation, all of a sudden my phone dings and it's you. And we haven't been talking. Like it's not like we text every well, we do now, but before, and it would just be like, hey Alyssa, what are the 5 things you're getting done this week? Hey, what's your goal for the year? Hey, like, and I was just like, how does she know? So that's not, you are seriously like, you're never the down in the dumps. We can't do this. Like, this is like your house that went under contract twice and fell out twice. You never gave the appearance of, oh my God, this isn't going to work.
That's a
I'm a
whole story.
failure. Right. That's a whole story. But you were just like, okay, here we go again. Who wants to do an open house? Like, this is going to sell. Me, I would have been a disaster. But yes, that's how I would describe you. You are the most positive, motivating person I've ever met.
That's so funny because, again, this is not going to be one word. We should have worded this question differently because I actually knew you on Facebook before I knew you in person, right? So we were in a real estate challenge together. We were actually in the same little group thing. So we had like a group chat and all that stuff. And the group chat's blowing up. And she's like, guys, you have to see what I just did this thing. And I don't know what to do about it.
So first, I was doing a fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And I told the people donating, if we get to $5,000, I will cut my hair off and donate it to make wigs for kids with cancer.
See, I didn't know this part of the story.
Yeah.
So she sends a picture and her hair, like pixie,
yeah, it was
pixie cut and blonde.
like it was buzzed on the back. Like there was no hair. It was.
And that's when I was like, oh my God, this girl. She's like, I'm doing a whole new branding. Like, this is like who I am. Like, this is what we're doing. And I was like, oh my God, you go, Alyssa.
And then to top it off,
I didn't know
I
she was
colored it
that's
purple.
funny.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I cried for a good week solid, and then I colored it purple because I was like, well, if we're not gonna love it, we're at least gonna do something fun with it. So
That's
have
another peek into Alyssa. She literally cut all of her hair off to donate to children with cancer. So
yeah, and we didn't even raise the 5,000. I did it anyway. We hit like 3,700, and I was like, well, we tried, and I just cut it all off. Yeah, yeah.
You're confident and inspiring.
At least I appear confident and inspiring.
This is a hard question. By this time next year, because we have no idea what next year looks like. Where do you want to be in real estate or personally? You know what I mean? Are you going to go back to coaching CrossFit?
No.
No. Okay.
I love CrossFit.
Mhm.
I want to be able to just do CrossFit. So I'm really passionate about adaptive athletes. My dad, if you've ever seen Forrest Gump, my dad had those leg braces, and my grandfather had to make them for him because they did not exist. So I am very passionate about making sure anyone who has any different type of ability has access to athletics. I would like to say in the next year, we work for a firm where we can build down lines. That is my goal, is obviously to build that out. I also want to be able to afford to have someone clean my house for me on a regular. That is literally yeah, that's on my goal list. And I know it sounds superficial and cliche, but I paid someone to mow my lawn every other week this year for the whole summer. And just the time that gave me back, like I know that is part of why I've had more success this year because I'm not spending an hour mowing the lawn, another hour taking a shower, then a couple hours in a Benadryl coma because I'm allergic to grass. So my house is the next step. And I would like to say that I have a transaction coordinator because I know people who utilize them well are very successful. Yeah. And so it's the same thing. It gives you time back so you can keep the ball rolling or have more time with your family. I want to either be owning my first investment property or ready to purchase my first investment property. I have some long-term goals there. And the goal was hopefully to have that ready this year. And the whole car thing's kind of throwing that off. But that is a goal for next year.
That's awesome. So, along the lines of the investment properties, now you know that Travis and I we're actually working on Flip now.
Yes.
I have thrown this out into the universe for, gosh, forever, I think. I want to own a beachfront property. And now I'm not talking a $4 million house, but it must be ocean front. I'm not talking
Not ocean view like across the street. You want the sand at your front door.
Yes. Or like a clear, I don't want any obstructions. Like I want to see the sand, the ocean, and I want to be able to hear it. So that's my goal. That Travis is not, emotionally invested in that part for me. But that's
well, I think Travis will be invested in the return on the investment.
Yeah.
He appears to be very much a numbers guy.
Not like focused on the numbers. Like he won't sit down and like tell you numbers, but if it makes money and it makes sense.
Right.
No, if it makes money, then it makes sense.
Right.
There we go.
Yes.
Said that right. But for me, that is mine. I want to have a beach house. And it's so funny because I think I've told everybody this. And my grandmother who passed away this year, she was like, I told her we were at the beach. I called her and talked to her. And I was like, I'm gonna have one of these. And she said, yes, you will. I know you will. And I was like, oh well, Nana said so. So
Right. Nana put it out there. Nana put it out there. Okay, so one that's a little less serious, but what's your go-to coffee order?
I love some coffee. But it depends on the season, it depends on the personality, it depends on my mood.
Okay, this is like our best friend because I'm the same exact way.
So right now, pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice. Or anything. I love a cold foam moment. But as far as like throughout the regular year, caramel, caramel swirl.
Just like in an iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
With a
Love
caramel
iced
swirl.
coffee. Caramel swirl cream.
Okay.
Maybe some sugar if I'm feeling a little bitter that day.
Okay. I am very similar. It's definitely seasonal. Like in the winter, it's a dirty chai latte. I want the spicy. I might even get it iced because I do not like hot beverages unless I'm freezing. And let's be honest, it never freezes here.
Not really.
So, spicy or dirty chai latte. So it's a chai tea latte with a shot of espresso. In the summer or like my normal go-to, iced black with a dash of cinnamon, and not cinnamon syrup, just like a cinnamon sprinkle on top to take the bitterness out. At home, though, like every day, it's a vanilla or caramel protein shake with iced coffee. So then two birds, one stone. I'm done. Breakfast is served, caffeine is taken, and we're ready to rock and roll.
What is our goal for these people?
Right. So, but maybe we should have started with that. For me, our goal or my goal is to let people know they're not alone. I think a lot of people in this industry feel like, oh my God, I'm the only one. I'm awful at this. I'm on my own and I don't know what to do. And I would love to use this to share our experiences and our knowledge about what it's been like. We both started as individual agents on our own. Well, you were on a team for a bit, weren't you? But now you're individual, and now I'm on a team. But it's not
Flip-flopped. It's different
right.
though.
But and yeah, my team is not a traditional team. So it's a little different. I get some support, but it's not that. But that's my goal is to be like, hey, you're not alone. Listen to what our chaos was like and see, and then also um, give some wisdom. Have some guests on who know more than we do and who can help us give some of that guidance as to not having that alone or that sinking or that panicky feeling of, I haven't closed anything or I just closed something, but there's nothing in my pipeline now. Like let's talk about how we avoid that or how we work through it and the experiences we've encountered in real estate.
Success looks different for everybody. So for me, I like this is real life. You know what I mean? Like I have two kids, a husband, several animals at home, and a full life on top of my career. Real estate is my life, but I have a life inside of it. And I think that you need to like people need to know that that's okay. You know, like you won't catch me in a three-piece suit.
I can't say I've ever worn true like business or business casual since being in this industry. I've sold houses in gym clothes. I've literally gone from coaching to a showing and been like, "Hey guys, this is my life," and I didn't have time to change.
So if you show up at this little house in your suit, and it's intimidating. I'm not an intimidating person. You know, that's one word that I don't think people think when they think of me. I do a jeans t-shirt and a blazer moment.
See, so it's funny that you say blazer. When I joined real estate, the first firm I interviewed with that I was like, this is the one, I'm going to go there. I know someone, like, I love this firm.
They have a dress code.
I don't know so much that they had like a dress code day to day, but they said, okay, well, when you join, we will send you for hair, makeup, and an outfit wardrobe for your headshots. And I said,
Oh.
well, why? But they said we want everyone on our website to look the same.
I hate that.
And that was my exit because I don't want to be the same.
You can't be
Okay.
yeah. Stay tuned for next episode. We are talking about spooky scaries on MLS, I think. So that'll be great. If you know anything.
Yes, if you have any ideas, send us your favorites.
We'll be dropping episodes every Tuesday. So stick with us.
Thanks for doing
Bye.
this.